Hi, I'm Mark. I'm the Kitchen Pro. Today I'm doing nothing to deal with kitchens or bathrooms. Today I'm welding on a fuel tank. You can see I have the fuel tank set up right here. The tank is actually rolled upside down right now, so this is actually the bottom and the outlet. There's the seam right here. It's just a little bit of a it's almost not even a leak. It just oozes. It just comes out just a little bit to where it's a wet spot on the end of the tank. And so I'm getting ready to have it filled again, and I want to make sure it's sealed up properly. Now, let me just say in the beginning that this is a fuel tank, a gasoline holding tank, and this is extremely dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And it's kind of dangerous even if you do know what you're doing. So I highly recommend that if you do this, you really know what you're doing and talk to the right people, even more than just watching me. So in welding a fuel tank, this is once again a gasoline tank. I've welded on diesel tanks, which are not quite as bad, but the gasoline tanks are even worse because even though I've emptied this about 3-4 months ago, and it's been sitting in the sun, and there's venting, so all the fuel, whatever the residual liquid that was in there has dried up and vented out. And I checked that after I pulled it down. But when I pulled off one of the filler cap that sits on the top of the tank and actually smelled down in there, even though it's been dry for a number of months, you can still smell a little bit of the gasoline smell. So, and I know that the gasoline, even with a steel, it permeates the steel a little bit, and there's continuous fumes in there. So even if it's totally dry, even for a number of months, it still can be very dangerous. So the theory on welding it is that with gasoline or diesel fuel, it needs air to combust. Without the air, it can't combust or explode in this case. So what I've done is, and I've done this before on diesel tanks, is I pulled my tractor over here, and I have a piece of metal conduit so it won't melt. And I put it into the exhaust of the backhoe and run it into the other side of the tank. And then on this end of the tank, I pulled off the cap, and so I've already run it a little bit. And as it blows the exhaust into the tank, it pushes the air out. So the exhaust actually displaces the air, so it makes it safe. So I've already run it for a minute. I've put my hand down there and I can feel the exhaust coming out this end of the tank. So I'm going to run it for about 10-15 minutes at least before I do the weld, and allow it to continue running during the welding. I've already, at the seam here, I've grinded it down so it's ready to be welded. I have the welder in place, everything else. So I'm about ready to start this. This may be my last video, you never know, but I feel pretty confident that I should be fine. So once again, turn this on, do the weld, and I'll be right back for you. You'll get to see if I made it. So I got it welded, no explosions, everything's safe, everything's good. Turned out pretty good. I had the tractor going all the time. I welded it up and got it ground down. It's ready for prime and paint. And what? Oh yeah, this is a welding hat. Sorry, probably look a little funny. You know, when you put on the headset, you can't have the bill. So it's my welding hat, and then the white shirt. I just have an old shirt because when you weld, the light is so bright you could actually get a sunburn. So you want to cover all your skin. And I wear the big gloves, cover so there's no skin exposed. So that's what the funny outfit is. Plus it's kind of cool. I mean, it's not cool, but it's cooler temperature-wise because with the sun on you, it keeps you cool. So anyway, everything went good, no explosions, everybody's safe, we're good, thanks.